Right. Hello. Willie B. Back. Another pod for you. Third take. Doing the intro. Told you. You're going to get the third take. Here it is. Good to see you guys, man. I'm not even seeing you guys. I just like that I'm with you right now in your ears or on your TV or on your laptop or on your iPad or on your Palm Pilot, whatever your vibe is. What's good? Hope you're having a good week. I'm checking in from rainy-ass Los Angeles. People think California and like LA is just beautiful and sunny all the time, which it kind of is, but sometimes it gets sad and dark and rainy and cloudy, and that's what's been going on. Y'all have seasonal depression? You guys get sad when it's dark out? I don't think I do, but I get if you do. If you live in a place, I couldn't, let me rephrase this. I couldn't live in a Seattle or a Portland. Shout out to those places, but like, dude, I could not live where it's just rainy all the goddamn time. Dude, that's sad. It's sad. I went to college in Chicago, man. You couldn't go outside for 7 months. That's insane. The amount of people that live in cold weather cities, like you should move, I think. Don't move here. Too many people here. Please don't move here, okay? I want people to leave here. People think, oh, you know what? Let me live through some winter. Good. Goodbye. But don't come here. Go to Austin or something. Go to Phoenix. Don't come here. Please don't come here. But it was so cold in Chicago, man, because I grew up, I'm a West Coast guy. West Coast guy. Got my ass kicked in Chicago in the winter. It was so cold that you would, I remember one time vividly, I was like, you know what, I've been inside all day. Let me just take a walk to like the 7-Eleven and get some treats or something. I went outside and the whole walk I was in pain. My skin hurt. That's how cold it was. Any visible piece of skin hurts. You have to walk outside like a ninja. Turtle thing up to here, up to your nose, beanie down here. It's even your eyeballs then will hurt. Oof. Tough. Speaking of the cold, though, look, man, your boy's getting some tour dates in, and I'm pretty excited about it. The plan is that I'm announcing a bunch of tour dates at the end of the month. Still waiting on a few to come in because I like to just announce as many as I can at one time. So I can kind of like post a flyer and be like, boom. Because when if I announce, let's say 4 or 5 cities, and all of a sudden I get 4 more in a couple weeks, I'm like, okay, I gotta post another thing. So I like having everything in just in one place. So I should have dates. Well, I do have dates. I'll be promoting basically starting from April until about September. So that time window, your boy's touring. I'll be out there. I'll be touching cities. A lot of cities I've already been to that I'm going back to and doing it bigger and better. Very excited about it. So as soon as I drop that, I'll let you guys know. And quick update with the Netflix is a Joke Festival show. I was told that show will now be on sale next week, either on the 14th, Valentine's Day, romantic guy, or Friday. So it should be next week. Sorry for all the confusion there. Again, I'm just as confused as you guys. I know I'm the guy and it's my show, but I don't know what's going on. So yeah, again, my tour will kick off in April. And it's gonna be fun, man. I'm doing a lot of weekends, which I'm really stoked about. That's been the hope all along, is that I can transition into doing these one night shows into doing more weekends. Because when I do weekends, not only am I going to make more money, but also just more reps as a headliner, right? More potential clips, which clips mean marketing, and just also it would be nice to test out like how I can sell tickets in a real way. Like how as a weekend guy, how many tickets can I really sell? That'd be really nice to know. Because I did 3 weekends last year, and 2 of them rocked. One of them was okay. But again, it's like I don't have a big gauge on like how many tickets I can move if I'm given the opportunity, right? So really stoked about these shows coming up. Can't wait to tell you guys more about them. And it's an interesting time, putting together tour dates with my agent, just because we've had situations where it's like, do you want to do a one-night show at like the cool club, or do you want to do a weekend at like the not as cool, prestigious club? And for a long time I would pick the cool club, the club that I've dreamed of playing or would love to play, and that it's it's a fire room. But it's like some of these rooms, they give you like a person at my level, maybe I won't get the best deal, that the ticket splits that I'll end up walking away with like not as much money. And if I did a weekend, I will make like way more money and it'll be way easier to sell tickets. Because doing these Wednesday shows, Wednesday or Thursday shows, it's just tough. You don't get the natural club draw that people just go out on weekends to. The Wednesday, Thursday, that's just all your fans. So that's what's fun about weekends is you can not only gain new fans, but you just will inherently sell more tickets. So I've kind of through, talking to some people and thinking about it and getting my agent's advice, I think a lot of times I'm going to pick the weekend at the not as club. You know what I mean? Which I'm excited about, man. I just want to grow. I just want to see how I can do in a real way. So fired up for this year, man. I really am. Can't wait to tell you guys about it. I've never talked about is that the fact that I eat the same breakfast and lunch every day. And that seems like such an integral part of who I am as a person, and I've never talked about it once. And I think I've talked about how much I hate cooking, right? So that's a factor. I hate cooking. There's no part of cooking that I enjoy. I don't enjoy the process. I don't enjoy the outcome. I don't enjoy buying ingredients. I'm out. I can buy. Kaylee has gotten she did like the every plate, like a Blue Apron type of situation where you get all the ingredients prepackaged and you make them, which is cool. I actually like that. But again, I'm not enjoying the process of chopping and dicing and measuring and I just don't like it. So I eat the same breakfast and the same lunch every day. And I'm not really sure why I do this. I think it's just it's what it is? It's like those like billionaire guys who wear the same outfit every day. It's just one less thing that they have to think about. And so they will put all their energy then into billionaire stuff, whatever that is. I think I'm the same way where it's like if I have breakfast and lunch figured out, then that's just less shit that I have to think about and worry about. Dinner, up in the air. But as long as I have breakfast and lunch figured out, I'm all set. And you're probably asking yourself, what do you eat every day? I'll tell you exactly what I eat every day. For breakfast, I do 2 eggs and a chicken apple sausage. That's my breakfast. If I'm really hungry, your boy will throw a 3rd egg in there. But to be honest, your boy also has got a little bit of high cholesterol. And I know I sounded drunk when I said that word, but you know what I mean. I don't know why I have high cholesterol because I take very good care of myself. I eat very healthy. I work out all the time. Still have high cholesterol. Don't know what that's about. And it's not scary high. It's not take a pill high, but it's, something to think about. So, the egg thing, it's like eggs have cholesterol. So it's like, again, I posted a whole joke about this. I'm like, everything's bad for you. I don't know what to eat. It's like, oh, eggs have too much cholesterol. I'm like, okay, well, what do I fucking eat for breakfast then? Oatmeal? There's no protein in oatmeal. Oatmeal's just carbs. What do I eat? I do eggs with a little chicken apple sausage, and on the eggs, you got to throw something on the eggs. I like to throw a little sweet hot sauce on it. Throw some Tabasco on it. Chicken apple sausages from Trader Joe's are also one of the best things ever created. And then for lunch, I got away from this for a while, and then I came back because I was tired of making the decision. Because I'm Steve Jobs. I do sandwiches, man. Big sandwich guy. I do whole wheat bread. I do chicken breast sliced. I do mustard mayo, pickles. Pickles are key, by the way. You need the pickles. You need the crunch. You need them. I usually do the sweet pickles. I'll take sour. Either way, I need to crunch. And then I throw a little habanero hot sauce on there. Not too much because that shit will fuck your whole thing up. You just got to do a little bit. A little Trader Joe's habanero sauce. Combining the sweet and the spicy, solid. So take my advice if you're making sandwiches, hit that. Chicken breast, mustard mayo, pickles, a little habanero hot sauce, or your choice of hot sauce. That's my breakfast and lunch every day. If you're wondering. And I don't really care if you weren't wondering, because this is my podcast. And I can do what I want. Let's talk comedy, man. Also, subscribe, by the way. Please subscribe on YouTube. Do it now. Thank you. It doesn't do anything. It literally does nothing. It only helps me out. It just if I post a new podcast, it'll like pop up on your feed and like cool, great. So just do that. Thank you. And comment anything you want me to talk about, by the way. I come on here, I have a list of things I want to talk about. I have some notes, and it's largely comedy based because this is kind of what the podcast is about. But again, if there's anything you want me to talk about, comment. Let me know. What do you want to hear me talk about? Things that I'm missing, things you want to know more about. Let me know. I'm here for you guys. Comedy wise, I had a bit of been a slower week. This last week, I had no shows Wednesday or Thursday, and you know, I will first of all shout out. I had spots at my usual clubs, Flappers and Comedy Magic Club. Shout out. But I had this Wednesday, Thursday with nothing to do, and I was kind of like, I mean, panic's a strong word, but I was definitely like, well, how do I use this time? How do I further my craft? How do I work on my comedic journey, right? And I kind of had this slight epiphany about the hustle and the grind of stand up that I kind of will go back to every once in a while. And this week, kind of, I had that thought where, I did an open mic on Wednesday night, and it sucked, and it was kind of a waste of time. I mean, that's arguably a waste of time, because again, I think just doing stand up in any capacity is can help you grow. But it's just like I know I've talked about, where it's in LA, these open mics are just literally you and 8 other comedians in a room, and it's like, we're not laughing. I'm not laughing. You gotta be killing. And even then, how do you kill? You can't kill in that room. It's like a bunch of friends hanging out, and one of them gets up at it's like we're at a dinner party, and one person's like, here's some things that I think are funny, and then you just have to awkwardly sit there and watch them. That's not stand up. Trying to make 8 other comedians laugh? What the fuck is that? It's like a weird AA meeting. So anyways, I did it, and I left being like, what the fuck? Why did I do that? I should have just sat home and wrote jokes instead. But there's this narrative that as a comedian, you have to get on stage every single night, or do something at least stand-up related every single day. And now I'm like, is that still true? Do I have to? Like, maybe I should utilize my free time differently. It goes back to that same thing I talked about a couple episodes ago, where living a life worth writing about. Because if every single night I'm doing something comedy related, what the fuck am I going to talk about on stage? Doing comedy? So I don't know, man. I feel like I need to, I think I'm a little all over the place, but go with me on this. I think your first, I'm going to say 8 years of stand-up, I think that's a good amount of time. I think you should get on stage every single night. I think that's important, and I think you should do good shows, bad shows, whatever, open mics, everything. But I feel like I'm reaching a point where I'm like, I got this down to an extent, So it's like, is doing an open mic going to help me? I don't think so. It may be trigger an idea, which it will be good, but I'm like, I feel like it'd be better for me as a person and as an artist to use those nights differently. I don't have a show Wednesday night. Cool. Go see a movie. I don't have a show Thursday. Cool. Get a beer with a friend. Who knows what could come out of that? I could get material from that. And I'm not going out having experiences with the sole purpose of, I need to get material. But it has to just lead to being a more well-rounded person, grabbing that beer with that friend versus going to an open mic and then running home. It's like, if you're weighing those two experiences in terms of again, being an artist and drawing from experiences, it's like getting the beer with the friend seems way more helpful. So I was kind of thinking about that. It's like, man, I will always have at least, 4 shows in LA a week, minimum 3, right? And because of this narrative of stand-up of get on stage every single night, I will force myself another night to drive an hour to do some shitty bar show that'll make me hate my jokes because of that narrative of but okay, sure, take Monday off, take Sunday off, but you only got up 4 times this week, you don't want it hard enough, you don't want it bad enough. So I'll do that. I'll fucking drive to some terrible show. Physically it's a toll, because it's like I already have issues with my lower back from all the driving and flying. So it's like I'm driving myself into the ground because of this old guard, because of this old idea of you don't get up every night, fucking you don't want it bad enough. I go back and forth on that though. I really do. And I think now that I'm 9 years in, and in October will be 10 years in. It's like, I got this to an extent, and I know I will get on stage at least 4 times a week. So I feel like that's good enough. But I feel like I I don't know, man. I feel like there's so many old narratives in stand-up, I think like the hour-long special, I think, is the biggest one to me. And I'm not taking credit for this concept. It's like Andrew Schultz changed the game where he maybe 6 years ago or something, 5 years ago, he put out a special that was like 15 minutes long. Because he had the foresight of thinking, specials are too long, let me put out a shorter one. And I thought that's fucking brilliant. And people kind of do it, right? People kind of, have been doing that lately. They'll put out 30-minute specials or whatever, but I think that's so the move, is to put out that shorter special. An hour is so long. I mean, dude, it takes a lot for you to like sit down and watch an hour-long Netflix special. Like, think about it. When was the last time you sat down and watched a full special? You'll probably sit down and watch 15 minutes here, another 20 here. We'll finish it off the third night. We'll watch the last 35 minutes. It's like, I wouldn't want my special that I've worked, my first special, let's say, I put it out at 10 years into comedy. I wouldn't want someone watching it in 4 different chunks. I would want someone to kind of consume that hour of jokes as if they're in a comedy club, because that's how it's meant to have this flow and this narrative and these callbacks that are all important, and that rhythm is important. So if you're watching it all broken up, it's like it just doesn't hit the same. Again, I go back to the old narrative of these hour-long specials, and I don't want to do that. Granted, if Netflix came knocking on my door and was like, "Hey, we'll give you an hour special," I'm like, "Well, fuck, man. How do you say no to that?" But if it's if I have the choice, I mean, dude, I would love to put out like a 24-minute special. I would love that, and just make it just heater after heater, quick, tight. You can sit down and watch. It's like an episode of a fucking Seinfeld, right? That's what I think these specials should be. It's just like an album, You can put out maybe an EP every once in a while, drop like a 6-7 minute set, then put out an album that's like 25 minutes long. Come back a year and a half later, drop another one. And this idea also of doing an hour special and then you burn all those jokes and start from scratch. Bro, you know how fucking crazy that is? And how insane of an idea that sounds like actually living it? Guys like Louis C.K., Tom Segura, whoever, you want to pick. It's like these guys who are putting out specials all the time. It's like, I think there's a good chance, some of these dudes, like Chris Rock, Kevin Hart, these guys have like a writer's room where they're able to come up with material and generate it a lot quicker. But guys like me, it's like, bro, it's just me out here. It's the idea of just burning your whole act. It's just like, doesn't make sense. So if you put out a 25-minute special, you can burn that. But then now I have a whole other, let's say 20 minutes that I can still work on for the next one, and then sub in another, let's say 15 minutes of jokes, and then work from that. That is a way more conducive process to the art. An hour's too long. And again, not my take. It's not my idea. It's just not enough people are remembering that. That really stuck with me. There's a great TED Talk that Andrew Schultz did about that, basically, and that specials are too long, and just about comedy in general. He did it 5 years ago or whatever, 4 years ago, and go check that out. It's really interesting, and it really stuck with me. I'm very inspired by that dude and the way he takes big swings in this industry and does things that are different, because I think people don't do that enough. So now we cut to Thursday, where I had another free night, did the open mic Wednesday, and then I was like, no, you know what, dude? I'm doing something different tonight. I'm going to go see a movie. And that's what I did. I went and saw a movie by myself. Never done that before. Never done a solo movie. It's kind of a vibe. It's a little strange because you leave the theater and you can't be like, well, what'd you think? You're kind of just, okay, I'll just think about it to myself, I go home and see Kaylee, and then I'm like telling her about this movie, and she's like, I didn't see it. I'm like, I don't have anyone else to talk about it with. I'm continuing my journey is such a strong word. My what's the word? It's not experiment. Whatever, dude. All right, I don't know the word. Plan of seeing all. It doesn't matter, dude. Just say the fucking thing. Everyone's turning off the podcast. I'm out. watching all the Best Picture movies. And I have another month to knock them all out. I still have a few on my list. One of the ones that was on my list is a movie called Zone of Interest, which I guarantee none of you have seen. Dude, comment on the YouTube if you saw this movie, because no one's seeing it. But it got nominated for Best Picture. So I went and saw it, and I went to like a bad parking area. So I decided to call an Uber. Quick drive. And I've never had a successful phone call with an Uber driver. Dude, you'll get the call, and it's never a local number. So you're gonna get it, and they call you when they arrive, and you're like, who's calling me from Arkansas? What is this shit? But then you pick up because you're like, oh, it's probably the Uber driver. And you pick up and you're like, hello? And they're like, hello? You're like, man, you called me. You don't say hello. I say hello. I say hello. You say I'm here. That's the conversation. And they always sound so far away. It's always like, I am here. Come outside. I am outside. It sounds like they're talking to you through someone else's car Bluetooth. Get closer to the phone. This guy has 10,000 trips. He still hasn't figured out hello. You look at his picture and it's always like this. You're like, man, you can retake the picture. It's not the DMV. It's like, I mean, I know it's not everyone, but come on, guys. You also don't have to call me right when you get there. You don't think I'm watching your little cartoon car pull up? You don't think I know where you're at? I got it. I know you're here. I'll be right there. And if I'm not there in time, cancel and charge me. That's my fault. So I once saw this movie, Zone of Interest, and I had no idea what it was really about. All I knew is that it was about Nazi Germany. And it was a really sad, rainy night in LA. So I was like, cool, this makes sense. Lean into it. Let's get sad. You think I'm afraid to get sad? Nope. I'm not going to go see Barbie on a rainy night. See some sad shit. Tell you what, I never watch movie trailers. Ever. Dude, it gives away the whole fucking movie. It's crazy. I'll watch a trailer and like remember a shot from the trailer, watch the movie, and I'm like, oh, this person hasn't had that reaction yet. Something crazy must still be coming. Like, I hate that I even have that thought. So no trailers. I don't want to know anything about the movie until I see it. Poor Things was a great one. Had no idea what it was about. And the whole time we were like, dude, what is this movie? So overall, the movie wasn't really what I expected. It's essentially about a family whose father is the head of Auschwitz. Comedy podcast. And we basically just stay with this family and are with them as they just go throughout their mundane lives of just like gardening and eating dinner, but all this happens and they're right outside of the concentration camps, like right outside. And effectively they're like ignoring all of the horrors that are going on. And the fact that their dad is one of the guys who's like in charge of the gas chambers. It's so horrific, right? And they're just kind of like, ooh, dad's home. How was work? It's pretty crazy. And I think that's the, like, and also we never see anything. There's no like graphic Nazi Germany stuff. It's literally just like you hear faint, terrible sounds. And the idea of the movie is that it's what you don't see that's so haunting. As we just watch this family go about their lives and effectively just compartmentalize the whole environment that they're in. And it's all true. There's a true family about it. The guy was, a real figure. And they even modeled the home after the actual home that they obtained from photographs. So I will say this, not a ton, I'll try to keep it spoiler free. Not like a ton happened in the movie. It was pretty slow. You're kind of waiting for shit to happen. And I would not say it's an enjoyable movie. I didn't really enjoy the experience of watching it. Not even because it's depressing, but it's just very slow. But it's definitely an important movie. I will say that. And if you're like me, I think it's fun to just watch all the Best Picture movies, and it's very surprising that this one got nominated. bit of a confusing movie, more of, I'd say, an art piece than anything. I'm between giving it a 6 out of 10 and a 7 out of 10. I think initially I would give it a 6, didn't really enjoy it very much, but I would say I would almost lean towards giving it a 7 out of 10 because of the swing they took and the kind of the artistic nature of it, and it's not this commercial movie. I respect people who've taken big swings. So I'm gonna go a soft 7. Hard 6, soft 7 out of 10. I would love the idea of people doing this with me, by the way, watching all the Best Picture movies. I would love if you guys did that with me and comment stuff, and I'll write back in the comments if you want to talk about them. So, I don't know. Just a fun little idea. A couple more interesting things that happened over the weekend. I had some shows. So I did Flappers on Friday. It's a comedy club in Burbank. So much fun. And so Kaylee came with me. And the only reason I'm bringing that up as something interesting that happened is because she doesn't really come with me to a lot of shows. And that's my choice. She is like the most supportive partner ever. And she would come to like every show if I like asked her to, you know? And I think the reason I kind of made that choice within the last year or so to kind of have her sit back on a lot of these shows, just because it's like, sometimes stand-up, you just need to be alone. You need to be just with your thoughts and stay completely in the pocket and focused. And a lot of times when I go to shows, I'm a little weird where I will like walk around a lot. I'm not just sitting in the back of the room like watching the show on my phone. I'm like, I get very antsy, so I have to kind of be walking around and moving. And when you're with someone else, when you're with your girlfriend, it's like I can't be like, hey, I'm going to go walk around for 30 seconds. I'm going to come back. Okay, how's the show going? Okay, I'm going to go back. Well, you want anything? I'm going to go back for a minute. You know, it's just easier to operate alone sometimes. And you know, when you're with your person, you inherently have to take care of them. You know, you're thinking about what they need. And she's not like a needy person where she's like, I need this. I'm cold. I'm hungry. It's like, but I have this need to take care of her always. And so that inherently will take my focus away from the job. And especially if I'm doing new stuff, I need to be like locked in, you know? And this is not her fault. She's not doing anything. It's just, it's baked into who I am as a person to be like, I need to take care of you. And not to mention, I also do a lot of writing on the drive home, which you kind of can't really do with another person in the car. I'm talking out loud a lot. I'm voice recording things using my phone, and like I almost need to just be completely alone just to be able to organize my thoughts and run with an idea. It's just easier that way. And so we kind of pick and choose ones for her to come to, and she hasn't been in a while. And I've been working on kind of these new jokes that I'm excited about, and still, you know, they're still getting good. And I was like, oh, it'd be really fun if you came out and saw me finally and saw these new jokes, right? Because she likes to know what I'm working on, and so I was really excited. And so it was funny, man. When I was there, I almost felt like nervous having her there, just because it was something different. Like I wasn't used to her being with me, so I almost felt this like it was almost like I put pressure on myself, especially because she hadn't seen these new jokes I'm working on. Like I it sounds silly, but like I really wanted to impress her. And she's going to be proud of me either way because that's who she is. But I was just it's this same thing that I said a couple minutes ago. It's like, it's about me. It's about my feelings and how like I want to impress you just from my own experience, you know? And so I just, for some reason, created this weird pressure on myself. And I was feeling really tired all day. Just in a weird vibe, you know? I'm not used to feeling kind of nervous before a set. And I went up and had like not a good, like I did like a fine set. It was okay. Objectively, it was good. But I really didn't like some of the moments. And the new jokes didn't work that well. And I was like kind of pissed, man. Because I was so excited to show off my work to her. And it just like wasn't that good of a set, and it was annoying because it's like and normally this club on a Friday night is so fun, is so fire. And in my head I was like, fucking, that's the one she came to? That's when it's a weird crowd and a weird set, and I always have fun there. The one she comes to sucks. And again, it doesn't suck. Objectively, I did well, but I have a very different experience than what you guys are watching. So I was bummed, man. I was really bummed. But is what it is. You know, what really helped me, though, is Michael Blaustein was on the show with me, just because we both do that club a lot. And he texted me after, and he was like, that was one of the worst crowds I've ever performed in front of in my life. And I was like, oh, okay. Good. Whew. Needed that. It really changed the whole vibe and the whole experience. I was like, oh, because I pulled up kind of late and was like, didn't really gauge the crowd very much. So I thought I was just kind of sucked that night. But he was like, that crowd was terrible. I was like, oh, good. Needed that. And then I had some fun sets in at Comedy Magic Club Saturday. You know, much better sets. Felt really good about them. What you do basically on Saturday nights there is they have two different rooms. They have like a small room and a big room. Small room seats maybe 60, I want to say. And the main room's like 250. And both the shows are sold out. Shout out. Oftentimes the main room is always sold out. It's crazy. That room is so fun. I've had some of my favorite sets ever in that room. I'm very grateful to be there. That is not an easy club to get into. And I know some of you who are listening who live in like Ohio or Boston, you may not know this club, but if you're a real comedy nerd, you probably know what it is, and it's a very prestigious club. So I'm always very grateful to be there. And I keep having this weird thing where, like, and the small room is kind of known to be harder. Sometimes you'll walk off and be like, woof, that was tough. It's just, it's at 6 p.m. The small show's at 6, the main room's at 8. 6 p.m. is just early. Sometimes you'll get an older crowd. I remember I had one of my worst sets, like ever, in the when I was the first comedian in the small room. Dude, I had such a bad set. I was like, oh my God. It was just such a hard room. And especially if you go first, tough. But I keep having this thing where, dude, I've been like doing better in the small room than the main room. I don't know what that's about. I had a set in the small room that I was so happy with. And I was like, cool. Now I'm going to do what I did, but now it's going to be even more fun. Because now I'm going to do this in front of like 3 times the amount of people. Let's go. And I had like a good set, but I felt better about my small room set. And I don't know why that is. Sometimes I feel like I'm better in front of like a smaller crowd because I'm more laid back. I'm more like almost less pressure in a way. I can be more personal with people. It feels more intimate. You can have a moment with these people. When you get to a sold out, 300-seat room, you're performing a little more. You're a little more, hey, this is a show. When in the small room, you're kind of like, we're just having a moment together. And so I'm trying to make sure I always take that energy from a small show to a big show. And it's very weird that that's happened the last few times. It's kind of cool if you think about it because the small room's harder, and if I do better there, that's almost more impressive than killing in the main room because, like, yeah, you should kill. I don't know. Maybe it was a coincidence. Maybe not. I thought it was interesting. I've been working a few times with a legendary comedian, Dom Irera. I don't know if you guys know who he is. Old school comic. He was popping in like I want to say like the 70s, 80s, something like that. He's a legend, man, and he's getting pretty old, and I am very thankful that I am able to share the stage with him a few times, because he's a legend, man, and he's hilarious. But he's getting older, and so it's just cool to know that I was able to like get to know him and work with him, in maybe the last couple of years of his comedy journey. Who knows how long he'll be doing it for? It's just cool to like. You got to always like give it up to the legends, And so the fact that I've been able to meet some of them and work with them, it's fucking awesome, man. Because I was one of those comedy nerds. When I first started, man, I knew every club, I knew every comedian, like I was in it. And so I still really get excited about meeting and working with legends, man. And last funny thing that happened there is at that club, it's called the Comedy and Magic Club. Oftentimes they'll have like one magician on the lineup, and it's awesome, dude. I love magic. I love it. I love magic. I'm not even saying that to be funny. I think it's awesome. I'm one of those people that watches magic and doesn't go like, oh yeah, but how did you do it though? Oh yeah, but it's fake. Yeah, but tell me how you did it. Dude, I'm the opposite. I believe. I'm in. I don't want to know how you did it. Dude, it's magic. You tricked me. You made me think a thing. That's awesome. I always wanted to do a joke about that, but Pete Holmes has the perfect joke on that. It's on one of his Conan sets. Go look it up. It's about like people who are like hating on magic. It's a perfect joke. So I don't even try to write a joke about it because he did it perfectly. But it's just about how, like, you know, I want to believe. These people are so snobby. Yeah, but nah, it's fake. I hate that shit. You want to? Have I talked about this before? Oh, I did. The Hulu one-man show in and of itself is Derek Delgado is his name. I think it's one of the most amazing things I've ever seen. I've recommended it before. Go watch it. Anyways, there was a magician on the show, and I asked him so many questions about magic that I was like, damn it, I should have saved this and done a podcast where I interview a magician because this is so interesting to me. So maybe I will eventually. But it was funny, man. This comedian who I know there, his name is Ron Pearson, and I'm just kind of getting to know him now. And we were talking. He's just a comedian, and I went and watched some of people. I pop into the room, see people's sets, check out the vibe, and this dude is on stage juggling, like juggling pins, and I was like, what the fuck? Turns out he's like a world-class juggler. Had no idea. Everyone else knew. They're like, yeah, he juggles. He's a comedian and he also juggles. It's funny to not know someone is a world-class juggler until you see them juggling. Like, who are you, bro? I thought we were just two comedians talking. Now you're just secretly a juggler? That's like me out of nowhere doing sets, and then all of a sudden I get on stage, I'm on a unicycle. And I'm like, oh yeah, I also am a unicycler. People will be like, whoa, I didn't see that coming. I was like, you guys seeing this? They're like, yeah. I'm like, fuck it, he's good. They're like, yeah, he's like a world record holder. I was like, whoa. Oh man. All right. I'm sweating. Let's call it. Appreciate you being guys here. Appreciate you guys being guys here. I'm out of it, man. I gotta go. Look, man, please subscribe to the pod. Please leave some comments about anything you want to see, anything you want me to talk more about. Go watch those Best Picture movies. Let's talk about them, man. And again, hope you enjoyed this. It's funny when you do a podcast alone. You're just like, hopefully people are enjoying this. So let me know if you are. It's very helpful to me. And yeah, man, have a good rest of the week. Stay safe out there. Enjoy life. Call your parents, tell them you love them, or your guardians, whoever they are. Call the Guardians of the Galaxy. Let them know you're thinking about them. And look, man, I'll see you next week. See ya.